that went to Trump Tower hat in hand to, kind of beg for a job as Secretary of State. And, it actually gave hope to a lot of people that, oh my God, maybe actually somebody who is rational is going to be part of this cabinet. But it's clear to me what happened. Romney went up there's something about Trump's elevator. I don't know. People go up, hating the man. They come back down, being a Stepford wife. But, Romney had his meeting. He came back down. And, oh my God, adulation for Trump. Trump's the greatest guy ever. Whereas only, a month or so before, he was saying, this guy's dangerous. This is the worst person ever. And then he goes and has dinner. And we see this picture, and it's kind of like a sad-looking Romney, and this, shitting grin on Trump. And I think I know what happened with that, because obviously, Romney's out of the running now, isn't he? But what did Trump accomplish by doing that? He managed to shut up a dissenter, because Mitt Romney, by speaking out, there's a lot of people on the right who actually respect Mitt Romney. There's a lot of people on the left who, even though we may not be Republicans, we actually do respect Mitt Romney. So by doing this, and having him come down and out of the elevator and just grovel in the dirt over Trump's so great, and then dismiss him, well, that essentially has made it almost impossible for Romney now to speak out. And so what was the next choice? Now we find Rex Tillerson. I think this was the plan all along, to be honest. I think Rex Tillerson was the plan all along. Secretary of State, CEO of ExxonMobil. Now Tillerson was angry. He's already admitted that ExxonMobil lost billions of dollars because President Obama put a sanction against Russia for doing their attacks on other countries. And so the deal that ExxonMobil was trying to work out with Russia to go drill for oil in the tip of Siberia got blocked. Billions and billions and billions of dollars for billions of barrels of oil. Now, Russia needs us to do this. The reason that Vladimir Putin reached out to Rex Tillerson is because Vladimir Putin cannot drill for that oil without Rex Tillerson. They can't tap into it. And so they needed that to happen. Now, we're talking about hacked emails from Russia. And who is Russia? It's Vladimir Putin. He still runs a police state, really. Freedom of the press doesn't exist. People are still under his totalitarian rule. And now we know that the DNC was hacked by Russia, and Trump is saying I just put out a tweet that said methinks the Trump team protests too much. They're sounding guilty. But I think this has all been a deal. It's just been a big, huge deal to go get that oil. Now, what's wrong with that deal? What's wrong with that deal? That deal is in Russian soil. Russia, do we really trust Vladimir Putin? Do we? Do we trust his good nature? Do we trust Trump's ability to judge a man so well that we should trust Vladimir Putin? Because once we tap into that oil for him, what's to say he just won't seize it? We're coming to a point in our history where the world is rapidly running out of oil. And now they have this resource in Russia that if we help them, they can tap into billions of barrels of oil. That strengthens Russia. It puts them in an advantage. It puts them in a great position to go launch a bunch more wars. Trump thinks he's going to get something out of this. I know what Trump wants. Trump only wants money. That's all he wants. He's filling his cabinet with billionaires. He's already made millions and millions and millions of dollars off just being elected because he appointed people from Goldman Sachs to his cabinet, and so the stock's shot through the roof. Well, who owns that stock? Trump. He owns a lot of it. And there's been other things as well where he is manipulating things and saying things to increase his bank account. And so he's building a cabinet of billionaires, generals, and a white supremacist. You know? It looks to me as if he's setting up for suppression in case we get out of line. But going back to the oil deal with Russia, the reason it is so dangerous to us is because if Russia has those billions of gallons of oil, they outnumber our reserve dramatically. And, you know, we're talking about oil now. And we just had the stand at Standing Rock, you know, where the pipeline, you know, got stopped and halted. What's running through that pipeline? It's not true oil. It's squeezed from rocks because we're getting that desperate. And if we're starting to run out of oil here in the country, because, you know, we do have an oil reserve, but it's not that big. It's really not that big. We have an oil reserve, but it's not that huge. And so if we give Russia all this oil, and the world starts is running out, there's going to be wars only over oil. For no other reason. Not that there aren't now, but we're making excuses and glossing over things, you know, to say, oh, it's not about oil. It is about oil. And so as we come to an end, if we do not move to a direction that would make us independent of oil, and we continue to have that dependency, which is the road that Donald Trump is heading on. He doesn't want independence of oil. He wants to continue the dependence because there's a lot of money to be made. And so our oil reserve will then shift and be used to defend our shores from attack. Now that we've strengthened Russia with billions of gallons of oil. Billions of barrels. I'm sorry, I keep saying gallons. Barrels. Barrels of oil. It's amazing to me. And, you know, so the hack, you know, our intelligence community is saying to Trump, look, you know, Russia hacked our system in order to influence the election. That is the intelligence that our intelligence community is giving him. And he keeps pushing back. Oh no, and he keeps trying to throw up, you know, smokescreen. Well, maybe it was China. Maybe it was China, because I don't like China. You know, but this guy is, we know this guy to be a liar. We know this man to be a liar, you know? By his own words, by his team's own words. They'll come out and say, well, you weren't supposed to take him literally. You weren't supposed to take him seriously. Why did you take everything he said seriously? Because you're running for the President of the United States, and, in that position, words matter, and words change things. So we already know he's a liar. He's a habitual liar. Truth to Trump is just kind of an inconvenience. He only tells the truth if it's convenient to him. And so with the intelligence community, he was interviewed, and the interviewer, it was on Fox News, and he was asked, isn't it bad not to trust your intelligence community? This is where you're going to be getting your information so you can make good decisions. And he said, no, it's okay though, because I'm going to bring in new people. I'm going to bring in new people. This is what he said. So what is he going to do? He's going to bring in new people, hopefully getting different answers. Is he going to bring in more new people if those new people he brings in don't give him what he wants to hear? Don't give him something that fits his skewed view or his skewed plan? I think that we're actually very much in danger right now of the billionaires, the masters of the universe, taking America for everything it's worth and leaving us an empty husk and saying, oh well, I got what I wanted, and then walk away. But it's obvious that there's a huge conspiracy going on around oil at this point. That's where I'm seeing it. There's other things as well that are disturbing. The carrier deal, which, when I saw it, I was like, okay, that's a PR stunt. And it really was. It was just a PR stunt. It was something that Mike Pence was working on. And then, Trump was able to, swoop in with his cape and tights and save the day. But it was just a bribe. All they did was bribe the company to keep some jobs there. And then he conflated the numbers. He inflated the numbers. He went and said there were 1,000 jobs saved. And then later on he said there was 1,100 jobs saved. Yeah, and I think if he wasn't stopped, he would have just kept raising that number to make it sound good. Not understanding that that's a union plant. These are union employees. And so the union president came out and said Trump was lying his ass off. There wasn't that many jobs saved. And what did Trump do? In all his righteousness, He went on a tweet storm attacking this hardworking man who's just a blue collar guy. If you watched him on TV, he's just a blue collar, regular working man trying to protect his union brothers and sisters. And the thing that Trump doesn't understand, because he won't allow unions within any of his corporations. Trump hates unions. They're not good for business. And so he didn't understand, I don't think he understood, that when you say that 1,000 jobs are saved, if you're in a union, you know what your seniority number is. You know exactly what your seniority number is. And so if the president-elect of the United States is stating that 1,000 jobs are saved, you're counting out, am I within that 1,000? And then when he stated later it was 1,100, now that raised hopes even more. Oh my God, am I within? I'm within that 1,100. And then the truth comes out, and it's only about 750. Now right before Christmas, all these hopes that were lifted are just completely dashed. And does Trump care? Does he even understand that's what he did? No. Instead, he goes on a tirade against a man who had the audacity to speak the truth. This is the man that may be the President of the United States. We still have a little bit of time between now and then Very short amount of time. But with so much unfolding, and his flippant attitude about the office and what to do. Oh, I don't need security briefings. Whatever. It doesn't matter if I tell the truth. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I'm making billions of dollars off this presidency thing. It doesn't matter. It matters. All of it matters. And so the masters of the universe under Trump's plan are going to get, the super rich are going to become even more super rich. But if you're not already at the top of the food chain, you're not getting squat. And there's a good chance that even if he were to manage to create a financial bubble that would carry him through a few years, so that people who are willing now to walk off a cliff for him are still willing to walk off a cliff for him. At the end of this, we could end up an empty husk. And there isn't anybody that could be elected that could save us.